Umpire Gavin Dorr gets us underway. Bickley won the toss for the Crows and they're going left to right in the first quarter. Ball clears the centre square and Hawthorn work it out through Jenke. Trouble for Robran, tackled by Hart. A bit of a slap and tickle there by Hart, who wants to go on with it. And the free kick goes to Jonathan Robran. The younger of the two brothers played 10 games on debut last year. Works the ball back. Treleaven up towards centre wing. Bouncing ball, difficult for Platten. Then he interferes with Rasciuto. No whistle for the play. A balk by Ellen. And then the kick inside the 50. Robran from behind Robran. The hand pass comes back to Caven. A centering kick to the goal square. Modra jostling. Langford punches and concedes it behind. Well done to the veteran Chris Langford.
So both ends of the ground have matched up as we expected. Langford on Modra, and at the other end, Chalmers onto the ground to take Dunstall. Some good ones in the midfield. Crawford and Liptak. Woods against Darren Jarman. And Platten and Matty Connell will run all day, I would suggest.
Ray Jenke, ready to kick out for the Hawks. Very familiar with this position as the designated kicker for Hawthorn, becoming very popular. Decides to kick long outside 50. Holland trying to use his body, but Robran taking a very well judged mark. One grab, will kick from 60 metres, plays on quickly. Modra's in the square, the big leap, oh Modra, unable to take the mark. Tries to kick off the ground, some clever stuff needed. McLeod on the bottom of the pack, Platten on the top of him, and it'll be a bounce about 10 metres out from the Adelaide goal. What about the grab, Terry?
Big jump there from Tony Modra, and that's undoubtedly his strength, isn't it? Just couldn't, Daniel Harford just couldn't hold him up there long enough for him to take it.
Gavin Dorr bouncing, Pittman. Front position, look for Andrew Jarman, held without the ball, very clever, and will be paid the free kick. Good thinking man's footballer. Jarman will take the free kick. 15 metres on a very tough angle, but we can see it. Goes the banana.
Oh.
Beautiful kick by Jarman. Adelaide first goal. 1-1 to Hawthorn yet to score.
Well, Andrew Jarman not generally a favourite with the umpire. Going into the game today, he'd only received 5 free kicks of the year and given away 19, but just a smart player in the close situations and was able to buy that free kick, so to speak. But the skill execution was sensational on the kick, and picks up his first goal following 3 last week.
Bounce by umpire McInerney in the middle. Crooked old bounce. Goes Hawthorn's way. But Pittman for the Crows. Low to the ground, Caven can't take the mark. Treleaven for the Hawks. Towards the outer side. Overrun by Condon, taken by Jarman. Hawthorn's best and fairest last year, playing against them now. Boos from the crowd, up to brother Andrew. Play on, it comes to the ground. 30 metres from the Crows' goal. Hart snaps offline. Behind.
Had Modra in the square too, Drew. Unfortunately, had to rush his kick. Probably didn't see him in his peripheral vision. Wasn't wide enough. The ball hasn't ventured past the centre in Hawthorn's territory. A lot of pressure on the Hawthorn backman so far. Resulting in 1 goal to Andrew Jarman. As Ray Jenke decides to kick onto the outer side of the ground. A long one, looking for Nick Holland. Unable to take the mark. Bickley, front position, had plenty of the ball this year. Platten, another one. Now kicks up towards the centre of the ground. Hargraves in front. Excellent mark by Tim Hargraves. Plays on quickly. Pritchard on the burst. Dodges one. Kicks long. Dunstall on his own. Oh, taken by McCartney. Might have been interfered with. The umpire didn't see it that way and play on. A lot of pressure relieved by the Adelaide Crows. Over the top of Langford's head. Can't judge it. Unkind bounce. Nick Holland. His kick is beautifully smothered by the desperate Bickley.
They don't come much tougher than Bickley. He's very, very hard at it. Great smother there.
Currently 14, that's the expected top.
But colder than that, Drew. I was down on the ground before.
Does feel cool.
Hargraves on the burst. Only gives it straight to Ellen. Now tries to follow up. Taken without the ball. Very scrappy football. Tony Woods now with his head down. Taken high by Nigel Smart. McInerney, the umpire, decides it's a free kick to Tony Woods. Plays on quickly to Kepler. The big left footer. Tackled beautifully by Peter Caven. A lot of pressure First 5 minutes of this game, Crawford, Taylor. Crawford, a rush kick, now for Jamison, ever reliable. Now it's Ellen to clear for the Adelaide Crows. Rashuto has plenty of room and plenty of time. Kicks up towards the centre wing to find Liptak.
Matthew Liptak, 15 metres in the clear. Long, inside 50. Crawford a bit of body work after the kick disappeared. For 11 for the Hawks, his third touch. The hand pass missed the target, but set up all right for Holland. He comes out wide. Pritchard, you're at heaps up by the sun. He's lost it. Liptak's hand pass. Rashuto, good kick. 2 against 2. Modra! And Tony Modra right in front, 15 metres out.
Well, he had one jump earlier and the timing was a little bit astray, but there's nothing wrong with this one. Eyes on the ball all the way. Very good jump. Didn't necessarily need to have to use half its body on that occasion. A good individual jump from himself.
Kicked 33 goals in 7 games after a late start to the season. No problem. Modra's first goal today. That's 34-16 for the season. Great start for the Crows. They lead 14-0.
They've been quite dominant. They've been able to control the ball across half-back. Hawthorn have pushed into their forward line, I think on 2 occasions at this stage, but have been turned back by the Adelaide Crow defence. And when we have Modra now to show these glimpses of form as he is now, it's a good sign for the Crows.
We've got 15 minutes left in the first term. It's all Adelaide. 2-2, playing yet to score Hawthorn. Now it's Hawthorn's chance with Ben Graham taking a mark inside 50. Mark Graham, apologies. One of the Hawthorn players required to put his hand up and take control of a game. Been around the club a few years now. Big, strong left footer. Kick looks pretty good, but Mark Dunstall in front keeps it in. Good play by Dunstall. Hargraves trying to keep it alive. Adelaide Crows putting pressure on, close to the boundary line. Chick unable to keep the ball in. There'll be a throw in, 10 metres around from the Hawthorn point post. Sportsbook, pretty close, Drew. Hawthorn 10-9, Adelaide 13-8 on. Pittman and Holland in front. Only to find Rashuto out of a pack. Now straight onto Jamison. Has time for a bounce. And finding Robin on his own. Good clever kick. Now Robin plays on quickly. Modra and Langford. Modra in front. Good strong mark, Tony Modra. Giving Chris Langford a bit of the runaround, Terry.
Well, if Crows are allowed to bring the ball in the forward line that easily, yes, Chris Langford is going to struggle. He just hasn't got the initial pace to go with Tony Modra. Modra will always get that 1 or 2 metre jump in that situation. Hawthorn really need now to tighten up in the middle of the ground and cut that supply.
5 years ago, Langers would have been all over him like a maggot onto a chop. The old age, Terry. But still reliable. As Modra lines up from about 40 metres out, directly in front for the Crows. Andrew Jarman's clapping it straight through the middle for the Crows. Modra's second, and doing very well.
Well, the Crows have structured up very well in the defence, particularly. Rod Jamison, who returned last week, is an exceptional player in that area. He does generate a lot of run, but in amongst the close ones, they've got the Hawthorn side pretty well covered just at the moment in the midfield. And the run that they can generate will feed this very, very dangerous forward line that has Modra and Andrew Jarman in the 10-yard square together.
Back in the middle, look at that scoreline. 20 points to 0. Pittman gets it down. Condon for Hawthorn. Pritchard concedes some ground to Platten. Platten on the run from the wing. His left footer towards the 50. On the lead is Dunstall. The hand pass is good. Comes back, Chick hand pass. Taylor, a centering kick to centre half forward. Pittman with the gloves. No mark. Liptak. Through Condon it goes. Ellen. His left footer towards the centre of the ground. Bit of a slip down. And McLeod went to ground. Taylor's hand pass astray. McLeod finds Jamison. Wobbly old kick by Jamison. Modra showing Langford a clean pair of heels. He's outside the 50. He's got Andrew Jarman in the goal square. One out with his opponent. Great kick by Modra. Was it touched? That is a great goal. Well, I'm not sure whether it was a pass or a shot for goal, but we'll give him the direct shot.
Well, one of the qualities that a full forward has to have is that if he thinks he can kick it, he's got to kick the goal. Now, this is great. Again, he's very, very quick to get the initial break out on the Hawthorn defence here. Drags it around. The bounce, a favourable bounce, obviously, but well left by Robin, and through it goes.
Sensational goal by Tony Modra from the 50-metre line on the boundary. He's just kicked Adelaide's 4th goal and his 3rd. Set the Crows alight. Now they're on the burst. Matt Collins is caught with the ball, just a young kid. Wanted to take on Ray Jenke and paid the price. Hawthorn need a goal badly.
Yeah, good clash there. 177 games to Jenke as to 1 to young Matt Collins.
It's all experience, Terry. Richard Taylor, been a good player for Hawthorn this year. Very high on that tackle list. Drives in long, looking for Dunstall, had 2 against him. Nigel Smart was one of those. John Platt now the crumbs. Decides to kick it in long. Looking for Dunstall again, has the set. Takes a great mark. Beautiful grab by Dunstall.
Well, he's the man for them, isn't he? He's really got to get on the end of a lot of football here this afternoon. 33 goals to date for the season, but that equates to some 30% of Hawthorn's total score, and it's Tim Hargraves second on the list with only 9. So a lot is always asked of Jason Dunstall, and once again he will need to deliver for Hawthorn to do well.
Could be in for a great day if there's a shootout between Modra and Dunstall.
Modra's already got 3 up, Drew, so let's hope that Dunstall can kick this from a Hawthorn point of view. Kick looks pretty good. And 1 behind. Dunstall doesn't look too distressed by that. I think he saw that coming. Hawthorn's first score, 4-2 to 1 behind.
Took a long time to get on the board. Kick in straight up the ground. Pittman tries to help the ball to the back. McCartney fires the hand pass to Rashudo. Rashudo from the centre circle. Modra on a lead and Hart in short. That's great football by the Crows. They've travelled well today by the looks of them.
Robert Shaw has started the game with Ben Hart in the forward liner. I think just to give it that little bit of toughness in there. He's not a physically tough man, Ben Hart, but his pure aggression at the ball, his commitment to get it wherever it is, and taking that mark with outstretched hand is another example of that.
Shot for goal from 45 metres. No problem. The Crows on fire. And there's a few Adelaide fans here, and they're very happy with what they're seeing. Injury to Hawthorn here with Pritchard limping off. And that doesn't look too good for the Hawks. Luke McCabe coming on.
But Ben Hart in the forward line picking up a goal, and he's the type of player who could finish this afternoon with 3 or 4, and that would be a great compliment to his ability to be able to move from the back to the forward.
It's all Adelaide here at Waverley Park, 32 to 1. We played 13.5 minutes in the first term. There's a big high ball. The 2 Roberins are on each other. Caven can't mark. Jenke's in the pack. Now it's Ben Hart. Can Adelaide get another one? Matthew Liptak to McLeod. Has a set shot from 45. Modra! Chris Langford not too pleased with that one. And Modra will kick for his 4th goal on a very tight angle. Kicked a sensational goal 5 minutes ago from the 50 on the boundary. Allowing too much and going across the face of goal for 1 behind.
Well, he tried to repeat the banana that he did in the state game, which was an absolute corker. Very similar to Andrew Jarman's today.
Yeah, and I think most players now are more confident with that banana kick. A little bit of smack across the back of the ears from Langers to Tony Modra. I think Chris Langford would be starting to feel a little bit frustrated, particularly at the way the ball's coming down, and really it's not giving him an even money chance against what is a quality full forward.
Jenke getting the move along from umpire Dorr. Finds a good lead, and it's Kapler. Play on quickly. The traditional long left boot up towards the centre of the ground. Big pack, good punch by Adelaide defenders. McCabe has just replaced Pritchard. It's a wayward handball. Matthew Liptak All too easy to Smart. Bit of dancing around to 11. Adelaide looking very good. Bickley on his own. 60 metres out. Has Coven and Robran. The latter will take the mark. 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And kick for Adelaide's 6th goal.
Well, Matthew Robran certainly be looking for a good game. I mean, he had a horror night last to start and was on the bench by three-quarter time.
3 marks already. He's killing his younger brother.
Robran kicks from 50. Might have allowed too much. He has. Minus good.
Drew, a tough call for the Robran family at home watching this afternoon. With 2 boys, Jonathan, the younger brother, playing at centre-half back on his elder brother, Matthew.
Matthew there with the crew cut. Played 7 games for the Hawks in 1991. Jonathan came to the Hawks last year and played 10 games in his first year. Now Ray Jenke kicks in for the Hawks, and they desperately need to get some goals on the board, Hawthorn. Here's Bickley. Hand pass over the top. Bickley, the captain today, and the ball taken out by Hart at left half forward for the Crows. Crows by 33 points. Now, we've seen them have big leads in the past and be run down in Melbourne, but at the moment, they're all over Hawthorn. And that'll be a ball up.
That's what they need, Terry. A bit of aggression.
Oh, definitely, yeah. The aggression really belongs with Adelaide at the moment. And it hasn't been aggression directed at the man, it's been at the ball. They've been very, very quick and hard at it.
2 Robrans in ruck. It comes down to John Platten of Hawthorn. The kick out wide, close to the boundary line. It sits back. Condon thumps the ball up the ground. Jarman after it with Harford. Well up the ground now, Andrew Jarman. Here he goes again. He kicked a miracle goal earlier. Did that go 10 metres? Umpire didn't pay it to Smart. Ellen McCartney. Good vision. The hand pass to the second gamer, Collins. Off to Connell. His kick to centre half forward. Punch to the front of the pack. McLeod a snap. Modra in the goal square. He's got another chance. Taken off it by Langford. Well done, Chris Langford, who's been under siege so far. Modra's kicked 3 already. Darren Jarman getting the hoots of the Hawthorn fans. They loved him last year when he won the Club Champion Award.
Darren Jarman was picked as Jason Dunstall's favourite player, or best player, Terry. Darren Jarman. Harford taken high, and the decision going his way. Crude tackle. Lays it off to McCabe very quickly. Keep the ball moving, Hawthorn. Up towards centre wing. McCabe driving it long. Looking for Chick, but only finding Andrew Jarman, who can't mark. Jamison's helping out. Now Richard Taylor an opportunity. Taylor has a bit of time. Steadies. Looking for Nick Holland. Finds him. So does David Pittman. And a free kick to Nick Holland on the 50-metre line for Hawthorn. Holland had a ball burst against Fremantle last week, along with Daniel Chick. Very good game. One of his best for the year. And they need a repeat of that today. Holland will kick from about 60. Needs a long kick, will land in the goal square. Ball punched through by Chalmers. 1 behind.
Well, Holland does seem to be regaining some of the form that he displayed last year as the Norwich Rising Star winner, and extremely important centre-half forward position here this afternoon for the Hawks.
Allen takes the quick kick out. Legs to Chip, looking for Rashudo, close to the boundary line. Looking for support around Hargraves. Again, a bit too easy. Kicks up long towards centre wing. Ray Jenke in front of the pack, can't mark. Now Crawford, one of Hawthorn's best for the year. Off to McCabe. Drives in long to centre half forward. Richard Taylor unable to mark. Chick stays down. Off the ground by the Adelaide Crow defender. Rashuto. Pack forms. The ball shoots out of the pack now. It's for Collins, second gamer. Kicks up looking for Robran. Mark Graham has been moved on to him. Offloads to Andrew Jarman. Chips in. Ben Hart, great mark. Needs to move it quickly. Looking for Pittman and finds him inside the 50. Good work by the Crows and moving it well, keeping possession.
And that's where big David Pittman is probably his most dangerous. Picked up some half a dozen goals in the first 4 games of the season doing purely this, being able to drop just inside the 50, not down any closer to the goal square where he may hamper the work of Modra, but just inside so he is there as a short option if the teammates require him.
Pittman will kick from 50. He's got 7 goals, 7 so far this year. Now he's got 7 goals, 8.
So as you mentioned, Russell, Mark Graham has started the game in the forward line, now has moved back to centre half back to try and quell the dominance of Matthew Robin. He's opened up in fine style, 3 marks already and 5 disposals. He's the one that's really setting things up for Adelaide just at the moment.
And Jonathan Robin's moved to the forward line, being picked up by McCartney. Genki kicks in towards the far side of the ground. Bigly outstanding, taken off it by McCabe, one of many South Australians playing against the Crows today. Hawthorn looking good, up towards the centre of the ground. Connell ridden into the ground and a good tackle. Collins is there, the youngster, showing a bit of body work. The umpire will call for it, ball it up. Umpire Shane McInerney. Today with Gavin Dorr and John Harvey. Matt Connell, Adelaide's best and fairest from last year, got up a bit gingerly from that one. Pittman beats Robrin. Comes to Crawford, who hasn't been in it much so far. Connell's recovered, he seemed to throw that one out. Taken by McCabe, inside 50, the Hawks. Dunstall dishes off the hand pass. Kapler on his favoured left, 40 metres out. It's close, it's a goal. So at last the Hawks get a goal deep into the first quarter. It's 5-5 to 1-2.
And Darren Kapler is probably one of their best scoring options here this afternoon in the spaces of Waverley. Last week at Fremantle, kicked 3 goals in the opening quarter by being able to run hard into the forward line. This one perhaps not as much space as he wanted to, but found enough room to be able to get back onto his preferred left foot and put it through for his first goal.
Adelaide Crows by 27 points after Darren Kapler's first goal for Hawthorn. John Clayton gets it out of the centre of the ground. The Hawks are on the attack. The ball's unkind for Daniel Chick. Rod Jamison's there. Condon. Off to McCabe, close to the boundary line. And Bickley very happy to see the ball go over the line about 70 metres round from the Hawthorn goal. 5 minutes left in the first term. It's been all Adelaide. Modra has 3. Jarman 1 and Ben Hart 1 and Kapler for Hawthorn. Condon underneath the pack. Tim Hargraves from 50 will have a ping. Kick looks pretty good for Hawthorn. It belts it through. Hawthorn second. Couldn't have come at a better time for the Hawks. 21 points behind Adelaide Crows with 4.5 minutes left in the first term.
Well, on a personal note, that becomes Tim Hargrave's 50th career goal, but in the context of the team, it could not have come at a more opportune time. They really needed one here, and it's a quality goal. It works with a lot of strength inside the contest, and that's where players in the forward line need to create room by being hard in the contest, tucking the ball under the arm and going hard for initial 5 or 6 metres, then steadying and goaling.
So the Hawks have kicked the last 2 goals. Pittman wins in the middle, down to Smart. Standing start to the 50. Robin, almost his 4th mark. Darren Jarman, dangerous from here, very dangerous. Off to Robin, brilliant. And the kick by Robin is perfect. Sensational play by Jarman. When he couldn't get boot to ball himself, he made it easy for his teammate.
Yeah, created the space without any doubt. Mark Graham makes a bit of an error here in the fairly sloppy attempt at a tackle. We'll see he goes over the neck, and in actual fact the free kick is relayed, but Graham really needed to go in harder and lower at the hips and really take him out. And that's the type of aggression now that Hawthorn need to add into this defence that they've got. More aggression at the man with the ball.
Well, it's the Crows that just kicked their 6th through Matthew Robrin. Following on from Hawthorn's 2 quick goals, John Clayton kicks it out of the centre. Hawthorn need another one desperately with just over 4 minutes left in the first term. Treleaven, Richard Taylor, hit hard by Pittman. But he's got up, he's a tough little youngster. McCabe's wrapped up by Jamison. Hard and tough stuff. Umpire McInerney will bounce it.
Well, good stuff by Pittman. He was there, and he had to go in and do it. And Rashudo's been doing it in the last few weeks. He's delivered some of the best hip and shoulders you'd ever see. So it's certainly not soft.
Great stuff, Drew. Taylor is back into the fray. Now it's Liptek on the burst. The kick from 65, looking for Modra over the back of the pack. Oh, good safe mark by Hawthorn in front of Andrew Jarman.
Kick by Hawthorn from the back pocket. McCabe uses his body to get rid of his opponent. It comes to Liptek. Concedes some ground. Back to McCartney.
Lack of discipline in Hawthorn's tackling at the moment.
Jarman should have taken the mark. In front, McLeod. Caught by Harford, but high. Free kick to McLeod. He's out on the 50. Actually closer to goal from where Modra kicked a goal on the run. Taken aside this week. Kick by Andrew McLeod. Good effort. Just offline and over the behind line for a score, a minor score. McLeod had the rare distinction of being picked for the state at about the same time he was dropped by his club.
That's good luck for him, isn't it? I know how he feels. I was dropped a week after I played in the state side. Drew, anyway. Langford finds Condon inside the back pocket. Possession game now for Hawthorn for Crawford. Lays it off to Platten. 4 kicks to move at 70 metres for Hawthorn. Johnny Platten playing his 230th game for the Hawks with a fantastic great mark by Roger has come out of the goal square to take the mark on centre wing. Looking for Rashudo. Good pressure by McCabe, but Rashudo can recover, unable to bend the back enough. Holland off to McCabe, around the corner to Daniel Chick. One of Hawthorn's big improvers this year.
Well done, McCabe.
Chick, one-on-one, Dunstall and Chalmers. Now's the chance for Dunstall. Offloads to Hargraves, dodges one, spins around, and blows a perfect opportunity for Hawthorn's third goal. I noticed Terry Dunstall doing a lot more team things. I think maybe with a bit of lack of pace, a lot of handball, a lot of body work.
Yes, definitely. Being able to feed the ball off when he has players around him who are facing the goal to make it a better chance for conversion.
Well, he's delivered 3 hand passes already, Jason Dunstall. McCabe, another good spoil to give Hawthorn a chance just outside the 50. And the ball beats Connell over the boundary line. And young Luke McCabe, who's a South Australian in amongst a nest of South Australians, has had a good couple of minutes here. Minute and a quarter to go to quarter time. First stanza dominated by the Crows. Can they keep it up? Jonathan Rodman wins the tap. Platten in with a chance. Good tackle by Collins. Back towards the wing, and the umpire will ball it up. Andrew Collins, who well, played his 200th last week, but it was a long way away in Perth, so they recognised his milestone locally here today. He's playing his 201st and 178th straight.
Top player for Hawks. Struggled early in his career, played with Fitzroy, ended up at Sandringham, then back to Hawthorn. Now Daniel Chick, first year player for Hawthorn, probably their best first year player so far. 10 games, 11, off to Condon. Now has a chance from 55, kicks it high. Not a very well directed kick, only straight to McCartney. Plays on quickly, changes direction for Chalmers. Chalmers elects to kick long. Pittman and Holland. No one can mark. Good spoil by Holland, put behind. Crawford now back to Jenke, trying to set something up for Hawthorn. Jenke, very, very balanced. Now Jonathan Rodman started to send out back, now up forward. Beautiful kick to Dunstall.
That is an excellent kick, particularly in a player who's been moved from one position to another as a result of not playing well. Still has the personal confidence just to be able to look around into the right spot and slot it perfectly for the leading full forward.
Dunstall will line up directly in front, will kick from 45. Chance to put Hawthorn to third on the board. Kick looks good. Dunstall's first, Hawthorn's third. 21 points behind at quarter time. And the Adelaide Crows, Drew, started off very, very quickly with a big rush of goals.
Well, at one stage the margin was 33, so the Hawks have come back in the latter stages of that first quarter.
Yeah, obviously the start really does belong to Adelaide. The way in which they jump, and Modra contributing 3 out of the 5 goals. But Hawthorn then were able to rally. They did tighten up a little bit in the midfield, becoming a little bit more accountable for their direct opponent, and their strength inside the contest did turn the ball back their way a little bit, and able to create a couple of opportunities there, particularly Kapler's and Hargrave's goal, and the last one then from Dunstall, a very much needed goal, but you couldn't ask for a better bloke to have the shot at goal than Jason Dunstall.
Well, the Hawks kicked 3 of the last 4 goals, but the Crows lead 6-6-42 to Hawthorn 3-3-21. On the boundary.
Well, from the Crows, people back home, a far more aggressive, confident start by the Adelaide Crows. They were at the footy very hard. They're tackling well and they're running in numbers. And, of course, they have Matthew Robin, who was sick last week, or ill last week, in better form, and Modra doing very well at the goal front. And D. Jarman yet to stamp any authority on the game.
And Pittman winning the first hit out and getting the free kick. Fires off the hand pass to Connell going past, but they've turned it over. That's tough by McLeod, using his body well. But the hand pass comes out, and Hawthorn have given it up. The Crows now, Darren Jarman. Bickley, inside 50, and Liptak marks about 45 metres out right in front. Made a whirlwind start, the Crows. They were superb. With Modra and Jarman on the forward line in brilliant touch. Here's Liptak, distance will test. To the goal square. Jarman's there, it hurries through them and goes through for a score. A minor score. 22-point lead to the Crows.
Interesting to see, Terry, whether they keep Graham on Robrin, who is running them around at centre-half forward.
Yeah, I think their only option after that perhaps is Nick Holland, but in the absence of Salmon, they've been using Holland in the first ruck against David Pittman.
Jenke finding Tony Woods, very short, not gaining many meterage. Off to Condon, putting Woods back under pressure, has to kick around the corner. Jarman and Langford. Jarman taps it out with an open hand and is not penalised. I think he can feel himself quite lucky.
Now the distinction there is at least the ball was going towards their goal, not deliberately and straight towards the line.
Pittman gives a nice old knock back into the corridor, allowing Crawford to kick it off the ground. Clever work by Adelaide onto Collins in his second game, running through the centre of the ground. Kicks up forward to Nigel Smart. Adelaide Crows calling for a 50-metre penalty. Connell has plenty to say. Umpire McInerney won't have anything of it. Good decision. Smart will kick from 45 to 50 metres and looking for Adelaide's 7th goal. Nigel Smart both in defence and in attack. And that kick looks pretty good. To goal. Smart's happy. Adelaide's 7th. Leading by 28 points, the Crows.
Well, they've jumped away again, and Matt Connell playing in defence this week. I think this is a very good move from Robert Shaw, the young player who came on last week in his debut game and picked up a couple of goals, but really back in defence, a good place for him to earn his stripes, and Nigel Smart displaying the stripes that he's earned over a long career.
Holland wins in the ruck. Chick tried to slide it to Platten, came unstuck. Smart working at both ends of the ground. Back to Connell, across the ground to Liptak. Being run down by Crawford. Haven't seen much of Shane Crawford yet. Liptak still has it, out in front. Well played by Matthew Liptak. He's kicked to half forward. Jarman from behind, but Jenke, an excellent overhead mark. Ray Jenke's hand pass. A little bit untidy. McCabe, short of half forward. Holland, good one-hander. A couple of weeks ago, he was playing for South Australia with a lot of these players. Across the ground he goes. Good pressure applied by Darren Jarman, but it doesn't work on this occasion. The kick up towards full forward. Dunstall couldn't quite take the mark. Back behind is Pittman. Has plenty of time to decide. Not as much as he thought, though. Tackled by Dunstall. Jamieson in heaps of strife. Hargraves on the turn. Couldn't get it back far enough and out on the full.
You see Dunstall then, Terry. He fought his way back to put pressure on Pittman, and it worked. Never give up.
You don't necessarily have to be the quickest bloke in town to be able to snaffle opposition players. Just got to be smart, and Jason Dunstall certainly had covered all the escape options that David Pittman had.
Jamieson chips into Bickley, who then kicks right across the face of goal to Shane Ellen. Ellen doing the 1-2 to Chalmers, working beautifully for the Crows. Now will kick up towards centre wing. Body work by Collins, shoving Kepler out of the game. Now back to Jenke to clean up for Hawthorn. Back to Kepler on his left foot. Kicks long. Robran and McCartney. McCartney keeps his feet. Good defender. Slips over at the crucial moment, allowing Richard Taylor to pick up the ball. Sets something up for Hawthorn. Dunstall in front of Chalmers. Good body work by both players. Hargraves picks the ball up off the ground. Has a shot. And offline from one behind.
Well, I think the Hawthorn crowd probably have every right to express disappointment with the umpire's decision there. Dunstall clearly in front. Chalmers trying to get to the ball, coming over the top there, in my opinion, did interfere with Jason Dunstall's ability to have a clean go at the ball.
Chalmers straight up the ground. Robran, mark not paid. Hawks fans not happy. Robran comes in to apply the tackle, but the Crows have it. Smart to McCartney, to Caven, centre wing. Kick by Caven towards the 50 for Andrew Jarman. He slips Harford. A centering kick, looking for Modra, who's shepherded it through. It's a goal. Well, he's kicked two amazing goals, Andrew Jarman. And the Crows with a big lead again.
Well, I mean, it's the most pleasing aspect of all this for the coach, Robert Shaw, is that there are numbers around the ball at half-back, plenty of players giving support, but then at the other end of the ground we watched Tony Modra, who could have had a bit of a go at this one himself as it bounced, but elected to do the body work and allow his teammate to pick up his second goal.
8-7 playing 3-4. The Crows have kicked the only 2 goals this quarter. Nigel Smart's got one of them. Now Liptak out of the centre to Rashuto. The Crows are looking sensational today. Kicking long. Straight through the middle for the Crows for another one. Rashuto second and the Crows 9th. 2 goals in 2 minutes.
Well, I have no doubt about it. The Crows are showing their wares here today. Hawthorn were very much a rejuvenated side after their win against Fremantle last week, and the questions were being asked of Adelaide, were they on the slide after being on top of the ladder just some 6 weeks ago? But today they've really come out, been far more aggressive at the ball, and at this stage reaping the benefits for that attitude.
Biggest lead of the game, 39 points. Jonathan Robran is off, replaced by Hudson for Hawthorn. Condon to the 50. Hargraves has been good, but inaccurate. He's kicked 1-2 and one out of bounds. Pops over the top to Crawford. And here is Shane Crawford, who has been strangely quiet so far.
Well, it's probably the first opportunity, Drew, that he's had to slip away from Matthew Liptak. Liptak, certainly one of the better one-on-one players in the competition. He's picked up some fair scalps already this year. And so Shane Crawford will really have to work and cover a lot of ground in order to get the advantage over Liptak.
35 metres. Good kick. Beauty. Much needed goal for the Hawks to stem the tide early in the second term.
And I think that's a good piece of play here from Crawford. He really takes the game on by getting down in front of the ball, out of the normal centre position. He runs on hard here, and he has to do that against Liptak. Liptak has a great degree of endurance, very fit man, but sometimes you just got to take the risk, and Shane Crawford on this occasion did into the forward line and reaped the benefit.
Shane Crawford's first goal, Hawthorn's first for the quarter, but just under 15 minutes left in this second term. Shane Ellen runs straight at the ball, offloads to Rashuto. Crawford's direct opponent, Liptak, gets the ball on centre wing for the Crows and finds Peter Caven on the half-forward line. Too far to score. Elects to play on quickly. Kicks long. Bit misdirected. Straight to Chris Langford in defence. Langford's had 3 kicked against him. Tony Modra. Jenke, very poised. Daniel Chick on centre wing, straight in the middle of the Coca-Cola logo. Chick looking for Dunstall on the lead. Unkind bounce. Using his body well against Chalmers. Ben Hart will recover. To Jamieson, to Bickley. There's Crows everywhere. Lip tap over the top to Connell. Has time to steady. Matthew Robran unable to mark. Good punch by Graham. Jenke, good clever work. Handball to himself. Back to Tony Woods. Back to Jenke again. Beautifully poised football by Jenke. Platten is flattened by Bickley. Good pressure by the Crows. Now it's Connell's turn. Robran will get Pesh. He's on the ground into the game. Kicks long and wide. There's 3 against 1. Andrew Jarman will do the tackling on McCabe. Langford out of defence. Long handball to Harford. Can have a couple of bounces. Crawford urges him on. Keep going, son. Centre wing for Hawthorn. Kicks in just in time. Dunstall and Chalmers. In front of the pack. Beautiful mark by Hudson. Chips in on half forward for Hawthorn. Good play by the Hawks. Good possession stuff. Hudson will now kick from about 45 on a slight angle and should swallow this one. He's kicked 7 goals, 7 this year. Kick looks good for the Hawks. Hudson just on the ground will kick his first and Hawthorn's 5th.
Well, good result there from Hawthorn, but a lot of it was set up here by Ray Jenke. The way in which he's taking on all these Crows here, and he just stays in the game at all times. Not once did he lay off the handball, not stay into the ball. The only thing that holded in them was the strength of Bickley and the way in which he swallowed up Johnny Platten.
Well, the lead did slip out to 39 points, but the Hawks have kicked a couple. Liptak caught by McCabe. He had it a long time. Liptak gone. Holding the ball. And look, McCabe has been impressive.
Been very good since he came on. Similarly, last week came on to take Ben Allen on in the game and was very effective in that role as well.
He's done quite an apprenticeship in the reserves, which is the tradition at Hawthorn. Out of a big pack, Chalmers towards the outer side. Michael Tuck played 50 reserves games before he played 400 senior games. Unbelievable. Hawks looking a bit better here. Condon. Kapler. Right to the goal square. Dunstall with a ride. Holland was there as well. It's still in the goal square. Hudson, he's second. That was touched. No goal. Touched. Field umpire signalling touched. Shane McInerney.
Well, they just look a little bit more potent now, don't they? Just that extra goal kicker on the ground. Hudson coming on. He's already kicked 1, and in actual fact, that was his 250th career goal there prior to this shot here, and he would have added to the total, but for that slight touch of hand. Hawthorn looking a whole lot better in the opening part of this second quarter.
Jamieson, Adelaide ex-forward now. Sensational backman for the Crows. Oh, Hargraves! Great one-hander. Hawthorn are looking pumped. Off to Crawford. Offloads. He's got Condon all on his own. Crows looking a little rattled in the last 5 minutes. Loose men up forward. Condon will try and make them pay. Robbie Shaw. Bit of nail-biting. A few messages. Nervous stuff. Condon's kick. One behind. Hawthorn needed that one.
Well, this is a great mark here, isn't it? And what's good here is that up quickly and the outrider Condon on the other side of the ground is in position to receive a quick kick.
Pittman, front position, excellent mark. Dragged down in the gloves. Away to Nigel Smart. Runs it up towards centre wing. They're coming to him, look out! The hand pass into Jamieson, put him under pressure. McCartney or Prosciutto, Platten taps out. Hudson. Plenty of support. Chick, the hand pass drops short of Hargraves. Clever tap on. Oh, Platten had it spent. Caven, the 244's in after it. And the umpire will ball it up on the logo. But really, Johnny Platten should have been dashing towards goal with that one.
He knows it too, Drew. I think, as you said, he had it spent. Not like Platten.
About 25 players around this. Knockout by Jenke. Hudson, who looks different with the dark hair. Play on, rules the umpire. Rashudo's hand pass into Collins. Thumps a big kick to the centre. Jarman beaten by Harford. Well done, Daniel Harford. And inside half forward with his kick. Dunstall caught behind the mark to Ellen.
Maybe a bit Dunstall conscious, but having Hudson on the field gives them a bit more potency, Hawthorn, as Bickley picks it up close to the boundary line to Connell. 95 best and fairest. Ex-Eagle. Good kick to Jarman. Possession game, Crows again. Connell on the follow-up. Kicks inside 50, looking for Modra, and Langford using the body strength. Langford does it beautifully, shrugs up a couple, balances well, kicks up towards centre wing, close to the boundary line.
Not only that, he bounced it out.
Great work by Chris Langford. Do well, good for the confidence after having 3 kicked on you, Terry, in that first turn by Modra. The Crows by 25 points. Jarman close to the boundary, off to Liptak. Good punch by Collins, being quiet. McLeod unable to keep the ball in. There'll be a throw in. Adelaide side of centre wing. Inside, 10 minutes left in the second term.
Andy Collins hasn't had a touch yet. Holland and Pittman. Andrew Jarman slides the hand pass back to his ruckman. Now Nick Pesh on the turn inside 50. Langford again getting in front of Modra, going much better in the second term. Modra superb in the first term with 3 goals won. He hasn't added to his tally in this second quarter. But a top game here at Waverley, and the Crows giving a good account of themselves. Hawthorn a couple of times have got a long way behind and have come back. Graham into a pack, caught by Robrin. The umpire will ball it up. This is right in front, 20 metres out.
Under 9 minutes left in the second term. Holland and Pittman. Good body work by Pittman, gets the knock. McLeod unable to take it. Caven held without the ball. Play on calls umpire Harvey. Stacks on the mill, another bounce. Collins gets a touch, Drew. But not a kick or a handball. on the bottom of the pack. And
Caven saying, what about the free kick? You called it, but the umpire didn't call it.
Umpire Harvey. Crows forward pocket. Holland trying to push it towards the boundary line. Crawford does it for him. Rashuto back to Connell. Shoves off Rat Platten. Off to Liptak now. To Robrin inside 50 on his left boot. Tries to size it up. Beautiful pass to Smart. Great on both sides of the body, Robrin.
Yes, and really it doesn't matter for Robert Shaw whether he puts Ben Hart in the forward line or Nigel Smart. They're both extremely well-credentialed backmen who can go forward with some degree of flair. And now Smart going for his second goal.
Directly in front, 48 metres. Drifting to the left.
So perhaps he is a better backman than forward. Yeah.
Well, he has got one on the board, Terry, so he's doing pretty well.
Oh, what Nigel Smart brings to the game for Adelaide, and he's one of the consistencies, is that he's very, very hard at it. He and Bickley are the 2 leading tacklers in the side, and they have a great degree of strength in their tackling, but more importantly, very sound techniques.
Jenke's kick just outside the 50. It comes to the front to Graham. Floats a hand pass, Holland. Platten. Good hand pass. Through the Seagulls to Langford. Langford's kick. A nest of hawks, but slipped down Crawford. Treleaven. Dunstall. Good punch by Chalmers. Towards the boundary line. Brett Chalmers a few weeks ago kept Stewie low to nothing over in Adelaide. And there's the second game of Matt Collins. Made his debut last week. Pretty confusing with a Matt Collins and a Matt Connell. Ball hacked out of the air for the Hawks. Rashuto hasn't delivered a good bump yet today, but stand by. He's made it a habit. Here's Collins. McLeod approaches it. Wrapped up in Collins' tackle. That's Andy Collins. Now Treleaven. And the Hawks off and running here. Jenke Kick drops short of the target, Crawford. Liptak's got it. His hand pass floats. Smart was good. And Pesh gets it going Adelaide's way. Crawford was good. Collins for his first touch. A hand pass, but not to a teammate. Caven.
Spins round on his right foot. Finds McLeod. Collins follows up with a beautiful tackle from the Hawks. Great stuff by Andy Collins.
Sensational stuff.
But did he have a chance to get rid of the ball?
Well, he went to set himself to have a shot, Drew, so with the new rule...
I reckon that's tough, that one.
No, back pockets, that's what they're there for, and great work, Andy Collins.
Collins plays on quickly. But only to find Darren Jarman on centre wing as the Hawks fans give him a nice old raspberry. Jarman chips. Not far enough from McLeod. Tries to take it on the half volley. Rodman all on his own, the goal square for the Crows. Too easy. Adelaide's 10th and Rodman's 2nd.
Well, Liptak shows great vision here. He could have had a go at the goals himself, but just is quick enough to be able to see Rodman there and just slots it over there. Very well placed. Rodman certainly has been playing the centre-half forward role to perfection here this afternoon. Whether he's having to push up the ground to assist across the centre of the ground or float back, he's doing both very, very well.
Margin 32 points in favour of the Crows. Just under 6 minutes remaining to half-time. Pittman's been superb in ruck. Down to Rasciuto. Platten backhands the ball out. Nest of Hawks here. Treleaven off the left, ill-directed, straight to Ellen, as though he was a teammate. Into Mark Rasciuto. Good running by Hart from half-back. The kick inside 50. Woods, Robran. And the big difference today for the Crows has been they have a centre-half forward. Robran wraps it up 35 metres from goal and will have a ball up. Robran getting a pat on the back from Darren Jarman. And the tackling in this quarter, 11-4. And Andy Collins, even though he hasn't had much of the footy, has laid 3 of those 11 for the Hawks.
Players such as Richard Taylor, 25 tackles for the year for the Hawks. Andy Collins has 23. And Bickley and Smart are the top tacklers for the Crows. Rasciuto shows his body strength, taking Hargraves. Condon straight back to Rasciuto. Now a chance for the Crows again. Good punch clear by Langford. McCabe, been good since he's been on the ground, replacing the injured Pritchard off to Taylor. One of the top tacklers for Hawthorn on the burst. Some good shepherding work by some teammates. Taylor now, if he can offload, keep possession for the Hawthorn side. Harford should kick a goal. Runs into 45. Kick looks pretty good for the Hawks. Great stuff. Harford's first, Hawthorn's 6th. Great work by Richard Taylor through the middle of the ground.
A training drill at Glenferrie.
It was, wasn't it? McCabe at half-back. Taylor quite prepared to take the gun. Some good blocking and shepherding for him. And really, Daniel Harford has done well. He's standing at Andrew Jarman at the moment, and Jarman certainly gave him a bit of a handful at the start of the game, but he stuck to his guns, and that was a very good run. 26 points the margin. It had been 39, so the Hawks coming back. Condon out of the middle, high to half forward. 2 Crows, man in front, Ellen. It's been very good this afternoon. Some good marking and quite prepared to get the ball moving on at all costs.
Matt Collins towards the outer wing. Pittman has a bit of a fumble. Fortunately, Bickley grabs it. Now, in your ruling, that would have been holding the ball.
In mine?
Yes. If the one up there on McLeod was holding the ball, that was too. Oh, I won't get into that argument. Heaps of players around this ball up, outer wing. Rasciuto tough at the ball. Condon's been all right. Crawford. Randall Bone, an ex-Crow, is on the ground for the Hawks. Across the ground. This has been a successful attacking avenue for them. Chick to Dunstall. He's a long way out. He's kicked over 1,000 goals, but I dare say not too many from this far out. Comes in short. Comes to the front. Langford, the fullback. I think he tried a banana. Maybe it was a pass to Harford. 40 metres out from goal. Harford concedes some ground. To Bone. Back outside 50. It comes back to Bone. They've lost it. How didn't they score anything out of that? Well, they still might yet. Look at this. The two ruckmen, Pittman and Bone, going at each other like reindeer.
And neither one of them were going to give the other an inch, were they? And as they battled the ball the last 40 metres towards the line, I think the pair of them were very happy to see that be the end result.
I think Langford got a shock that he actually had a chance to kick a goal in the forward line. Tried a banana, it didn't work. Platten and Jarman and Harford on top of the lot.
But the interesting part about Langford getting down there is that Modra's the one that's working extremely hard. He went all the way with him. And I think that's been one of the indicators of the changing game in Tony Modra. He does have some sound defence about what he does now.
It's a bounce 70 metres from Hawthorn's goal, very close to centre wing. Taylor and Smart wrap each other up. Smart the strongest. Keeps his feet, drives through the pack. Lip tack. Off to Bickley. Another handball for Bickley. Collins. Only second possession to Jenke. Caught under a lot of pressure. Andrew Jarman, clever stuff again. Keeping the ball moving for the Crows. Off the ground by Pesh. Ball beats Graham and Robran over the boundary line, just inside their 50. 26 points. It's gone out to 39. It came back to about 21. Been hovering this quarter. Graham and Robran, no clear winner. Harford at the back of the pack off to Condon. Can clear for the Hawthorn side. Will kick up to centre wing. 13
disposals for Anthony Condon. This ball at centre wing. Liptak takes it over the line. The crowd want deliberate. The umpire says throw it in. The doctor. Last 2 minutes of the first half here at Waverley. And a great contest between the Crows and the Hawks. Free kick Adelaide's way from the boundary throw-in, and it will go to David Pittman, who averages 18 hit-outs a game this season and certainly has stood up since Sean Wren's injury. Kick by Pittman over the head of McLeod. Here's Langford. Well, he's running around like a 2-year-old colt up the ground. But his kicking's let him down. One for goal and one was a pass. This one straight to Smart.
Nigel Smart on centre wing. Spent a bit of time up forward and up back. He's kicked a goal for the Crows. Tries a torpedo. Undisciplined kick. And the ball bounces over the boundary line.
Yeah, no real value in that, and particularly as we see the time clock, only a minute 20 to go. To pick up another goal would be very, very important for Adelaide. So Nigel Smart should have used the ball with a little bit more quality there.
He's had plenty of it. 5 kicks, 5 handballs. As Pittman gets a good knock. Gains 10 metres for the Crows. Condon has been busy around the packs. Over the top to Bone. Been quiet. Just coming into the last few minutes. Kapler on centre wing for Hawthorn. Needs to move it quickly. Minute left in the second term. Chick has the sit in front of Jamison. Must move it quickly. Plays on. Ran on his right boot. Dunstall!
And just as well, Nigel Smart is a gentleman, because he could have cleaned up Dunstall unmercifully then, but he showed some compassion.
Dunstall will kick directly in front. 30 metres out from goal. Looking for Hawthorn's 6th and his 2nd. Hawthorn fans like it. It's Dunstall's 35th so far this year. And needs a bag to put Hawthorn with a big chance of winning this game.
So Hawthorn really just playing in little spurts just at the moment. They're showing a great degree of promise in the way they bring the ball in at different times. This is probably one of their better examples. There's space in front of the ground there for Jason Dunstall to lead into. But in other times, it's a little bit haphazard.
20 points the margin. It had been 21 at quarter time. So pretty even second term. Pittman another hit out. It's up to 10, so he's above average. The ball underfoot, and we'll have a ball up. It'll be the last action of this first half, if in fact the umpire has time. The clock has stopped with 6 seconds remaining. Umpire Gavin Dorr here. Pittman once more. And there's the siren. He was going to get a free kick, David Pittman. And that is the end of the action in the first half here at Waverley. And I'm sure that fans in Adelaide will be on the edge of their seats hoping that the Crows can break this hoodoo in Melbourne. They're well placed at the moment, leading by 20 points against the Hawks, the once mighty Hawks, who were no good last year and struggled at the start of this year, but are putting up a great display here today. And I'm sure that Robert Shaw will have some positive things to say, and one of the positives to come out of it has been the form of Robrin at centre-half forward. Matthew Robrin has been doing extremely well there in a position where the Crows have traditionally struggled. He had his brother moved off him, and eventually Jonathan was taken off the ground, and Matthew Robrin was terrific in the first half. Andrew Jarman, a couple of tremendous freak goals, and Modra kicked 3 in the first term but hardly had a touch in the second. And at half-time, Adelaide 10-8, 68, lead the Hawks 7-6, 48. Second half about to get underway. And Pittman wins in the middle. There's Woods. Go on, Russ, have a go.
Platten takes... You got a frog in the throat, Drew. Platten on the centre wing now for Hawthorn. Close to the boundary line, around the corner, looking for Richard Taylor. Not good enough for him. Off the ground. It's McLeod. D. Jarman. As Curls mentioned, unable to get into the game as he normally does, with Tony Woods playing very close to him. The mark is paid close to the ground to Matthew Robrin in front of Graham. Hawthorn fans not happy. Robrin will take the kick about 55 metres out from goal. Had a good game, good first half, Robrin. Already kicked 2. Short pass to Pittman, plays on quickly, straight to Robin, goes to the torp. Kick looks pretty good. What a great kick by Robin. Exactly how the Crows wanted to start.
Well, that was a very good 1-2. Pittman again providing the alternative venue to goal there, receiving the short kick, and then back to Robin. Robin's 3 goals this afternoon have all been on the run, and so he's been very, very athletic, very, very mobile in the centre-half forward position, and quite prepared to cover a lot of ground in order to get into each and every contest.
And just before the half started, I saw Holland run off the ground for the Hawks, and Bone is now in the ruck and wins this clearly. And the Hawks should have been going forward, but the hand pass was disappointing. Bickley to Smart, back to Bickley. Hurried kick out of the centre circle. A high ball to centre-half forward. Jenke, but the whistle's gone, and Crows free kick to Caven. So to all intents and purposes, it looked like Holland was about to start the half, and about seconds before the umpire bounced the ball, he ran off. Here's Peter Caven. No breeze to speak of here at Waverley. And we've seen the ball kicked long at both ends. Now this is a long run up, and the man on the mark's about 60 out. Pittman on the 50.
There it is again. This very good play here by the Crows. The way they use Pittman's structure up there.
Oh, and the kick has found Pittman, got him right in the ear. He was shepherding Platten off, and Rashudo kicked into him from about 5 metres out. That would sting. That's unbelievable. Rashudo's knocked out 2 opponents in the last 2 games. Now he's knocked out a teammate.
Robin has just taken a great mark from about 45 metres out from goal again. Ooh, smack, they hurt when it's cold. Hard footy in the ear. No. It's a painful spot. I once got whacked with a wooden spoon by my mum around the ear. Jeez, it hurt.
Gee,
Matthew Robin will shoot for his second for the quarter and third for the game from about 50 metres. It's a mongrel kick straight down Ray Jenke's throat. Jenke plays on quickly to Condon. Condon's off. Kicks up towards centre wing. Daniel Chick in front of the pack. Good punch by Adelaide Crows. It's Collins. Connell elects to take the ball over the boundary line, and umpire Gavin Dorr decides that was deliberate, son. Give it back to Richard Taylor. Free kick for the Hawks. Taylor looking for the lead. It's Hudson in front. Can't mark but still recovers. Keeps his feet. Good forward play. Puts Chick under pressure. Gets it off to Platten. The Hawks, if they can get away. Good work by Jarman. Taken high. Shrugged to the ground. Bit of emotion between Condon and Jarman. Jarman to take the free kick. To Connell, back to Jarman. two stats in 2 seconds. Caven unable to take the mark. Randall Bone on for the suspected injured Collins. Out of Hawthorn defence, McCabe and Bickley with the ball. Bickley taken, gets a kick. All but rushed. McLeod on the burst. Good play by Andy Collins. Good tackling by Hawthorn. They wrap it up. It's a bounce.
Darren Jarman didn't come out of that last contest all that well. Back behind plays, stretching his right hamstring. So if that is the case, that would be a savage blow to the Crows.
Looks proppy.
Even though he's had just 9 possessions today. Crows have a goal early in this third quarter and lead by 26 points. Pittman has recovered and continues to win these ball-ups. He's killing them in the ruck. Ball virtually taken off his boot there by Harford with a dive. Taylor's kick towards the centre of the ground. Good running by Hargraves. That was a hamstring stretcher. He's kicked wide, short of the 50. The mark to Hudson. Dunstall one out with his opponent, Chalmers. Hudson in that direction. Yes! Right in front. 15 to 20 metres out.
Well, there's the value of being able to get the ball in quickly. Hudson quite prepared to move it on. Went to his right first, was checked by Allen. Happy to come back on the left and use the ball quite effectively, giving Dunstall the opportunity.
Dunstall shooting for his third goal. Should get this one. And the Hawks right in this game. One in each quarter to Jason Dunstall. And the half-time margin is retained with a goal apiece in this third term.
Well, the brief for Hawthorn for this quarter has to be to edge Adelaide's lead down to something like 12 or 14 points, I would suggest, to put themselves right into strike range for the last quarter. In order to do that, it really does constitute a lot of hard work in the midfield, because Dunstall is showing form and can take advantage of those opportunities.
We've played 6.5 minutes in the third term. Goal to Adelaide and then goal to Hawthorn. 20 points the difference. Liptak taken hard by the Hawks defenders. Tony Woods, Andrew Jarman. Tough stuff. Condon has the ball now with a bit of time. Spins around, kicks inboard. Finds Darren Kepler, who's paid the mark, despite the late attention from Nigel Smart. Kepler plays on quickly. Long left footer. Dunstall! Hawthorn have come alive. Dunstall's kicked one this quarter. Good body work in front of Chalmers.
Well, Kepler doesn't mess around when he gets the ball. He's prepared to use it long and deep into the forward line. Dunstall knew that, and he knew as soon as that player got it, he was in the right spot to be the option.
Kick from 45. Looks pretty good for the Hawks. Dunstall's happy, Hargraves is happy. The margin now back to 14 points.
So Hawthorn now have got the scoreboard just about right, 14 points. If they can make a bit of ground up by three-quarter time from this scoreline, they've done very well. Dunstall's the man without any doubt. He's kicked their last of 3 goals, and he needs to be the one to take advantage of the forward thrusts.
Margin back to 14 points. And Bone beats Pittman in the middle. Hawthorn go forward again. Connell round the corner over his shoulder. Jenke charges straight at it. Smart in his wake. Oh, taken out an illegal shepherd. And Daniel Chick knows it, rather Graham. That was a shocker. He just dragged Smart around the neck as Jenke was about to pick up the ball.
Strange play, Drew, isn't it? Like, he ran and just grabbed him round the neck and turfed him to the ground. I can't understand that.
So Smart just forward of the wing. The kick inside 50. Modra in the middle of the pack. Liptak. Now who would have thought at the 15-minute mark that Dunstall might be ahead of Modra in goal kicking? Modra started with 3 straight, and now Dunstall leads him 4-3. Modra's hardly had a touch since that opening burst. Pittman gets it underfoot. Caven a clever kick out of the pack. McLeod with Collins. It bounces Collins' way. Well, now McLeod's a chance. Off the ground, and Jarman takes the mark. 35 metres out, and he's at a wide angle, but His 2 goals have been from freakish angles, so this mightn't bother him. Andrew Jarman for goal number 3. Across the face. Punched out of defence by the Hawks, and the ball's still alive.
Good shepherd work by McCabe, allowing Treleaven the opportunity to pick up and handball off to Bone. Hawks are looking good this third term. They're 14 points down. Good kick to Chick on the win. Chick plays on quickly, up to half forward, over Hudson's head. Shane Crawford, inside 50, close to the boundary. Needs to offload it quickly, taken without the ball. Highland's the call. Hawks fans are blue in. Pittman in front of Bone. It's 3 against 1. Good tackle by Pittman. Bone the chance now. Handball back to Hargraves. Close to the boundary. Offloads to Dunstall.
Oh, sensational kick. Oh, Tim Hargraves. Very, very good.
This is great footy. You can't get better than that, Terry.
No,
Left footer.
Absolutely perfect. And that just shows the relationship in the team, that Dunstall knew where he had to be. Hargraves knew where Dunstall was going to be.
Hargraves only a young kid. He's only played 6 games this year. Kick looks good. Hargraves is the man. Lace out to Dunstall for his 5th. Hawthorn's 10th. 8 points the difference, the Hawks.
So the game now belongs to Robert Shaw, and what's he going to do with Brett Chalmers at fullback? Because that's the only avenue to goal that Hawthorn have in which they have a chance of pinching this game. So Robert Shaw now has to work to plug that hole up. If he can do that, I reckon he's got the game. If he can't, he's in trouble.
Back come the Hawks. Pittman beats Bone this time. No room for Liptak to move. The umpire will ball it up, and he was very quick to get in there, Gavin Dorr. And just temper's becoming a little frayed here at the moment. Big Randall Bone against his old team is chucking his weight around. And he robs Liptak of the ball. And umpire Gavin Dorr has played a Hawthorn free kick. And once again, he's very quickly in there, almost to the base of the pack, the umpire. Free kick to Bone. Holland off the ground. Pritchard left the ground after 15 minutes, so they're undermanned, the Hawks, but they're playing with verve at the moment. They're inside 50. Hart's hand pass, missed the target. Good pressure by Chick. Good tackling. And the umpire will ball it up. And Hawthorn just forced that ball forward from a free kick on the wing without a possession. They moved it forward about 60 metres.
Well, there's no greater stage for Adelaide now. This is really their football season. Lead now only 8 points and a quarter and a half to go.
Condon takes the ball out of the pack now. Great mark by Dunstall. A slips catch. Diving forward. One grab. That's out.
The thing is, when you watch a career highlights video of Jason Dunstall, you will see 80% of the marks he takes in that fashion.
One grab,
he
Terry.
really
One grab.
He'll dive forward. He won't allow the ball to bounce in front of him. If it's in the air, it's fair game for him.
Well, what a captain's quarter. He's kicked 3, lining up for his 4th. It's there! Dunstall's just kicked his 4th for the quarter. He's got 6. The Hawks have 2 points.
Well, we mentioned that this is crunch time, and no doubt about it, this is crunch time for Adelaide Crows. The players, this whole responsibility now belongs to the players. Robert Shaw has to deal with Jason Dunstall, but now the boys in the middle of the ground have to make this ball theirs.
Midway through the 3rd quarter, and it's all Hawthorn. They're within 2 points after they trailed at the last change by 20. And then the Crows kicked the first goal to lead by 26. And it's been Dunstall, 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 Dunstall. The Hawks have kicked 4 goals for the term, and he's kicked them all. 4 goals straight. Well, the Crows led in the second quarter by 39 points. They once lost a final to Essendon after leading by 7 goals at half-time. Helped on by Taylor. Running onto it is Harford. Kick by Harford in the direction of Dunstall again. Off hands, Kapler on the wrong side for him. Treleaven, umpire said he threw it, Kapler, and he's penalised him, and the free kick goes to Jamison.
It's what Adelaide needed. They needed a bit of luck, and it went to Jamison. Now Smart's on his own on centre wing. Bit of time, bit of space. Some good shepherding by Ben Hart, allowing 3 bounces for Smart, but now under a lot of pressure is forced to kick high. Not good work by the Crows, putting a lot of pressure on Andrew McLeod, allowing Collins to punch the ball close to the boundary line. Crows feeling the pressure. 20 points up at half-time, now only by 2. Just under 9 minutes left in this third term. Pittman and Bone. Bone being the big improver this quarter for the Hawks. And Shane McInerney's calling a free kick.
And the move's been made by Robert Shaw. Nigel Smart going back to full back to take Jason Dunstall, and Brent Chalmers moving down into the forward line.
Free kick for holding against Bone to Pittman in that ruck contest. Always been very controversial for the umpires this year. Very difficult, a grey area. But Pittman will attempt to relieve the pressure for the Crows. Robran kicked their first goal this quarter in the first minute, and it's all been Hawthorn ever since. High ball into the square. Modra will fly. The whole pack, it's punched clear by the Hawthorn defenders. Brown can't take the mark. He's driven into the ground. Pack forms off the ground by Chick. Now's a chance for Pesh. He's caught by Graham. Good pressure by Hawthorn. Graham's grabbed without the ball. Umpire Harvey will bounce it.
Terry, this is what Hawthorn can do to you. Even on a big ground like this, they can make it look very tight.
They can, and they've been able to very successfully do that. Adelaide just haven't been able to get any run generated here in this latter part of the game. Hawthorn have squashed them at every turn.
Pittman tries to gain some yardage, some meterage. Gains about 4 or 5. The ball beats them all over the boundary for another throw in. 15 or so metres around from the Adelaide goal.
We look around the ground now, though. Every Hawthorn player is accountable for an Adelaide Crow play. They're taking them on one-on-one.
They've lifted their concentration. Brown gets a rush left footer. Harford held without it. Now it's Pesh's turn. Offloads. Now for Matthew Connell. If he can stamp himself a hero. One behind for the Crows.
Greg Anderson, who hasn't seen any action today, been on the bench all day. 3-point lead to the Crows. Jenke kicks in. Graham over the top of Jarman. Harford made a slow start on Jarman, but has been a good player.
I think he's been very good. One of the younger players coming up. There's only 2 teenagers out there for Hawthorn, and Daniel Harford is one, and Luke McCabe the other.
Pittman, another hit out. Harford helps it up for the Hawks. Bone now. Connell for the Crows. The centering kick. Robran's there with Graham. Excellent mark to Graham. And now Hawthorn switch the ball to the far side. And Langford running off Modra. A fingertip mark. He's got Treleaven up on centre wing. The kick will get there. Got players further unmarked. Kapler. Darren Kapler, a long way from goal. Pokes it in short. Good running by Woods. Can't break the tackle of Prosciutto. Holding the ball. Well done by Mark Prosciutto.
Good tackle.
Well, there's nothing against Tony Woods there, is there? Once Prosciutto gets his man, he doesn't go far at all.
He was lucky he only tackled him, didn't hip and shoulder him.
Like he's still awake. Randall Bone takes a clever one-hander over the top of the pack to put the Hawks back into attack. They must keep the pressure on for the Crows. Elects to kick long inside 50. Dunstall unable to get a full purchase. Treleaven, better timer of the ball. Now to Tony Woods this time. Gets a kick. High ball, Smart. Punched by the Crows defence. Good work by Crows. Conceding it behind. Back to 2 points the difference. Just over 6 minutes left in this third term. You can feel the tension as Nigel Smart will be the designated kicker. He's been a centre-half forward, been centre-half back to full-back now. Top player for the Crows. And been busy. Changes direction, kicks long. Good 60-metre kick. Great mark to Pittman in front of the pack. Plays on quickly to Hart. And a top first quarter. Very busy. Jarman. Great body work behind Harford. Now must move it. Looking for Modra. Just not enough meterage for Modra.
Oh.
Langford loses his footing. Modra slips it round. Beautiful goal. Clever stuff. Tony Modra gets his first goal since quarter time. He now has 4. And the Crows have 12.
Well, it was a very good goal. Modra now up to 299 goals in his relatively short career with the Crows, but this is a very, very good one. Once there's some space and there's an open goal square, you really don't get big. All you want to do is just drop it into the square, keep it low there, and Modra controlled the flight of the ball very, very well on that occasion.
A mistake by Langford then when he tried to paddle the ball to the boundary line. Didn't get enough purchase on it. Left it there for Modra, who kicked his 4th. Pittman wins in the middle. Crawford's hand pass intercepted. Robert to Jarman. Back to full forward. Graham can't take the mark. Off hands to Liptak. Another Crow goal.
Well, Ray Jenke asking the question there where the mark came his way and there was some degree of interference from Brett Chalmers playing there. We have a look at it here. Andrew Jarman, they're starting to get some touches here. There's Jenke. Bit of an influence there. Well, maybe the ball was spilled, but very much in the right spot there, Liptak, and that's given Adelaide now just that little breathing space. 2 consecutive goals. Liptak there, Modra previously.
87 plays, 73, 14 points. Was down to 2 points for the Crows as Darren Jarman and Tony Woods fight for the ball. Woods is the winner. McCabe spins out beautifully. Off to Platten now. Platten with his 10th kick. Kicks in board. Great mark. Darren Kepler. Been a solid player for Hawthorn today. It's his 6th mark. Kicks in short. That's Dunstall again.
That is sensational again.
As Darren Jarman limps off the field with a suspected hamstring. Not good news for Adelaide to be replaced by Nick Pesh.
Just on this replay, we just see the amount of room that Dunstall has to work with. Really not all that much. He had Smart right on behind him and Bickley bearing down on his left-hand side, but only eyes for the ball.
Lining up for his 7th. No doubt about it, umpire doesn't move. Hawks are back in it. 12-7 to 13-9.
Well, Jason Dunstall now has 7 goals, 1, and chasing his season's best effort. 8's been his best bag this year, and if he continues just to concentrate and attack the ball in that fashion, well, better than 8 surely coming his way. That's his strength. Regardless of what's going on around him, he keeps eyes on the ball.
Margin back to 8 points. Adelaide in front. 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd term. A quarter dominated by Jason Dunstall, who's kicked 5. An Adelaide free kick in the middle. It's not Connells, it's to Pittman, who has had a marvellous game. Liptak. Robran, not the same influence after the long break, even though he kicked the first goal of this term. Graham tries to soccer one off the ground. Chick. Beats his man well. Well played by Daniel Chick, a first-year player. Woods in trouble, lost it in the tackle. Grabbed by Pesh, back to Rashudo. Jenke in front, takes the mark, and is pole-legs down by McLeod, but he's up quickly. Ray Jenke switching play towards the outer side. Harford and Jarman's been an intriguing battle. Daniel Harford, a star as a younger at Teal Cup level, drives it along to centre-half forward, all Adelaide. Mark dropped by Hart, comes to Ellen. Hurried kick by Ellen. Randall Bone, who's had a good 3rd term, and jumbles a mark. Spent most of the first half on the bench. Kicked by Bone. Hooked in one-handed by Condon. 8 points the margin, Adelaide up. 3 minutes left to three-quarter time.
After indecision, Condon goes inboard. And there's a free kick to Hawthorn for some interference against Daniel Harford, or Kepler. Too high in that contest. And the traditional big left foot thumper. There it is, will land in the goal square. Pressure's on, Langford's up there. Good punch by Smart, it's Crawford now for a chance. Kick looks good. Hawks are back in it again. 2 points.
Well, there's the mark of a good player. I think Crawford has been well held by Liptak, but never does he give up. You'll see here, Dunstall drops off the fray here. Adelaide Crows are up. They're intent on just spoiling the ball, but Crawford gets to the right spot, and very good right foot snap there from hard up against the behind post.
2.5 minutes to three-quarter time, and Adelaide's lead has been cut to 2 points again. Bone wins in the middle against Pittman, which is no mean feat. Hawks forward again through Condon. Here's Chick, losing ground in possession. Harford, you're in trouble. Spills to Chick. Round the corner he goes. Great kick by Daniel Chick. Condon. Dunstall again. And the man in front. A sensational mark by Kepler. Oh, well, fancy fighting your captain for a mark in a quarter where your captain's kicked 5. That was magnificent.
Sticky hands.
Now Darren Kepler can put the Hawks in front for the first time today. Remember, the Crows kicked the first 5 goals of the match. Kepler from 50. They lead by 4 points. Oh, it's just hit the post. Oh, it looked home for all money. So they don't lead at all. They trail by 1.
You had it spent through.
Thought it was a Monty.
Well, it's tight. Very, very tight here at Waverley Park. Conditions perfect. Crows were leading by up to 7 goals, nearly 7 goals. Now it's 1 point the difference as Rashudo floats across the front of the pack, a la Royce Hart. Take a well-timed mark. Needs to play on move quickly. Minute and a half left in this third term. Allen keeps his feet. Now a bit of time to offload, looking for Rodram. Rodram unable to take the mark. Andy Collins using some good body work. Great experience by the defender. 201 games worth. Richard Taylor taken with the ball. Connell held well. Collins it is. Tough stuff by the Hawk.
The Hawk defence really has tightened up. Collins leading from the front. But Mark Graham, going back to centre-half back, has done very well on Matthew Rodram, being able to quell his influence somewhat since half-time.
Pittman, his 16th hit out to Bickley. Been quiet this term.
We've got Andy Collins for 5 tackles, 5 brilliant tackles, and no Crow has laid more than 3. So he is the leading tackle maker on the ground by a long way.
Takes him to 28 for the season, equal with Richard Taylor. Randall Bone, some desperate stuff for Hawthorn. It's sweeping through the side, this desperation, reflecting on the scoreboard. Only a point behind. Had a great third quarter against Pittman. Again, another tab out by Pittman, only to fall to Hargraves and Rashudo. Tough stuff. And another bounce.
He's an unsung hero, Pittman, isn't he? Everybody
excellent
thought,
player.
once Sean Wren went, what ruck did Adelaide have? But he's been great.
Carrying the hopes of the Crows. Pittman again. Platten unable to get the ball. Bickley, Anderson, round the edge of the pack. Now to Richard Taylor. Leave the pressure for the Hawthorn side. Kicks towards the boundary. Not many teammates there. Kepler will let it go over the boundary line. It was 1 against 3. That's experience for you. Experience of 153 games from Kepler. And today he's played a great game. A couple of great marks, kicked a goal. The Hawthorn side can be very proud of their performance this quarter. Started the quarter 20 points behind. The quick goal by Rodram, putting them 26 points up. And going into the final term, 1 point behind. So the Adelaide Crows need to look at that drawing board, Terry, and see what they can pull out of the hat.
Yeah, I mean, Hawthorn really have set this game up for themselves, trailing by 20 points at half-time. Really, I think their intention would have been to get within 2.5 goals of Adelaide and take some momentum into the last quarter. But they've surpassed that by miles. They're only 1 point behind. And that man on screen, Jason Dunstall, kicking 5 goals in that particular quarter, certainly has been able to cap off some very good work in the midfield. This stage, all the momentum with Hawthorn and all the work needing to be done by Adelaide.
Well, that was just a great quarter of football, and the Crows have their work cut out now. They lead by a point, 13-9 to 13-8. What a last quarter we look set for here at Waverley. Adelaide kicked the first 5 goals, and at another stage in the second term led by 39 points. Now they hang on by just a point. Rasciuto punches it out of the middle. Graham is there with Robrin. He quelled him in the third term. Good tackle by McCabe, who has tackled well.
And that's been the difference, Drew, in the tackling of Hawthorn. Since quarter time, Hawthorn have laid 25 effective tackles, Adelaide just the 13. So they've really just taken over the game through that aspect of the...
Randall Bone, who has been rucking since half-time in the absence of Holland. McLeod's hand pass, Connell, Rasciuto. Goes very wide for Brown, who spent most of the day on the bench. Brown short little pass to the 50. Caven slipped over. Jenke's there. Flips the ball up the ground. Well played. McCabe. Woods. Kick by Woods. Kaplar. His opponent all over him, Bickley. And Mark Bickley finishes up with it. Ellen. He's happy to find the boundary line. Just breaks the tackle and finds a teammate, Matt Connell.
Connell plays on quickly, goes inboard. Over the top of teammates and Andy Collins. Jarman slips over. Collins now has the ball. Pittman interception. Nick Pesh on the Coca-Cola logo. Kicks long inside 50. It's Modger and Langford. Ball beats them both over the line.
This is an incredible Hawthorn. They're balanced out at either end of the ground by Chris Langford at one end and Jason Dunstall at the other. For so many years been really the cornerstones of the Hawthorn side, and here today they're the two that are really standing.
The bookends.
Pittman again, but only for Daniel Harford to break away from Andrew Jarman, beating them in pace. Done very well for the youngster Daniel Harford. Kicks long, finding Kaplar, who's been very busy since half-time. Spins around onto the left boot, looking for Dunstall again. He's made a yard since he's kicked his 5 in that third term. Richard Taylor will kick long into space. Not many options available. Pressure on Shane Ellen. May let Hudson in now. Trying to get something clever. Kicks inboard. It's high. Crawford unable to mark. Daniel Chick trying to offload. Interception by Ben Hart. Platten under the pack. And it'll be another bounce. Umpire John Harvey. Give it to me. 35 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. Directly in front. Pressure on Adelaide Crows. Crows lead by a point. Randall Bone doesn't know what to do with it. Platten does, gives it to Taylor. Taylor has a ping of the big ones. One behind. Scores a level. 13-9, 87.
Well, the Crows once beat the Hawks here by a point. It's that close again today. Kick in by Smart. At the back, Crawford paddles it for Bone. Randall Bone keeps it low. Hudson. Great play by the big fella. The ex-Adelaide Crow against his old team, Randall Bone.
Well, he'd be keen to do well, Randall Bone, wouldn't he? And when he's able to execute a pass like that, well, he's not only has the want to do well, but he has the ability to do well.
Opening few minutes of the last term, scores level. The Hawks haven't led all day. Hudson's kick is offline. He gives them the lead for the first time, but only by a point. Boy, the tension here.
It's tough. It's tight. It's what the Waverley crowd want. The majority of them being Hawthorn supporters. Would love the siren to go right now. Hawthorn lead by a point. as Jamison finds Nigel Smart deep in the Adelaide Crows' back pocket. Dunstall bouncing around on the mark. It's kick 7. Smart kicks long. Jenke punch. Good defensive work, disciplined work by the defender. Punching from behind. Centre wing. We've played 4.5 minutes in the final term. And the Hawks were on a roll. Kicked 7 goals in the third term to Adelaide's 3. Jamison gets a rushed left footer. Well picked up by Graham. Off to Platten. Unable to take the ball cleanly. Rashudo has a chance now through the pack. Weaves his way through. Offloads to Ben Hart. Through the centre of the ground. Looks for a good pass. And finds Modra.
Coming up for just his second kick since quarter time.
Second kick. And his 5th goal. Kicked 3 in the first term. And 1 in the third. Will kick from 55, Tony Modra. Kick will be close. Close to the line. Randlebone gets a finger to it. Scores a level.
Gee, Adelaide's season on the line here. 8th on the ladder after winning their first 4 straight and being top of the ladder. Langford from behind, couldn't take the mark. Pesh, socket away by Langford. Hart first back there with Platt. Well done by Ben Hart. Spears it to 50. Brown and a spoil by McCabe. And young Luke McCabe, one of many South Australians in this Hawthorn lineup, playing against a team of South Australians when you add in Nick Holland, McCabe, Jonathan Rodburn, Kapler, Randlebone, and John Platten. A lot of South Australians out there today. Scores level. Just under 15.5 minutes remaining in the game. John Platten not quite razor sharp today. Couple of fumbles. When he was out in the open, he might have gathered and dashed away with the ball. His stats, 10 kicks, 4 hand passes. It's just been a little bit of a struggle. It's been hectic.
Below the Rats' standards, Drew, I agree. But if you can have a big quarter and help win it for Hawthorn, I'm sure he'll be very happy. Connell gets a high ball inside 50. Andy McLeod in front of Andy Collins. And McLeod unable to pick up the ball. Quiet day for McLeod. Only the 4 kicks. And the one behind. For a half forward, needs to get a lazy 3 or 4. Pittman, tireless. Ball under the pack. Andrew Jarman, as per usual, under there with it. Had a tough day against Tony Woods. But Jarman's kicked 2 sensational goals. Some tight angles, 1 banana and 1 magnificent kick from the boundary, rolling through. Bone the winner this time. Woods to help it on. Connell shoved out of it by Tony Harford. Not much happening in the last minute or so. Reasonable attendance, 16,500. Majority of them being Hawthorn supporters. Very vocal in that third term. David Brown. Quick handball, quick smooth hands to Rashudo. Run into an open goal. Beautiful play by the Crows. Silky stuff by McLeod. Rashudo to pump it through, putting the Crows a goal up.
Well, I think it gives an indication of the state of play, how tight it is that we've come this far for the first goal here in the last quarter. And McLeod just being able to be very, very good with that sleight of hand towards Rashudo. He's continued to work hard right throughout, but we're really looking now for the Crows to stamp some form of dominance here in this last part of the quarter.
Rodburn in ruck for the Crows. It comes to Andrew Jarman. The kick inside the 50-metre arc. Thumped out by the Hawthorn defence, just about thrown by Anderson. The crowd thought so. Andrew Jarman's kick offline and bounces out of bounds in the forward pocket for a throw-in.
It seems, Drew, the momentum may have swung back a little since that 3/4 time break.
Well, there certainly hasn't been much open flowing football in this last quarter. It's been played at close quarters, man on man, and Hawthorn have done that since they've come back from a big early deficit. Pesh over his shoulder, across the face of goal. Ooh, hit the post. It got closer than I thought.
Yeah, sometimes when you use that curling type kick, you can really drag them back, and Pesh actually executed that one so very well. It was pitched out in the middle of goal and behind post and drew it back at least 4 or 5 metres.
Ray Jenky to kick the long ball out of the goal square, goes 60 metres. Jarman and Langford, now Chick. Richard Taylor, the game seems to have stopped. Taylor decides to take it on. Bursts through centre wing. Looking for Kapler, who's had plenty of the ball in the last 50 minutes. Kapler now keeps his feet. Picks the ball up, takes on Liptak. And could have been pinged for holding the ball because he had an opportunity to get rid of it, as Liptak is telling him.
Yeah, well assessed, Russell. Matthew Liptak certainly did take a few steps in which he could have, Kapler had a few steps in which he would have got rid of the ball normally, and Kapler then snaffled him.
Robrin, the winner of the tap. Rashudo on hands and knees, now Tony Woods able to set it up for Dunstall. In front of the pack, Dunstall it is, unable to take the mark. Good pressure by Smart. It's Anderson now, spent most of the time on the bench. Gets a rushed left footer, round to Caven. Handball inboard. Not a kind bounce for Pesh. Good one for Brown. Rashudo on the follow-up. Drives it in looking for Modra. Unable to take the mark, but Graham to the fore for Hawthorn.
Here's Trelevin. Floats a hand pass over Anderson's head. It drops short. Trouble for McCabe, but backed up Taylor. Kicked by Taylor. All Adelaide. And at full stretch, the mark, Jamison. Left half back for the Crows. He steadies things down. Liptak unmarked near the centre circle. Across to Rashudo, who's had a good last quarter, including kicking the goal. Wide to centre wing. On the run, the kid, Collins. Forward pocket, that's not the direct way home. Modra was very wide. Don't know that that's to the advantage of the side going out there. It's off the hands and out of bounds for a throw-in. A good 45 metres around, or well, about 30 metres around from the behind post. No, well, near the 50. A long way around. So Modra was going to need to be good if he was going to get it from there. Brown, centering kick, a dive by Modra, no mark. Langford clears. Bone comes to the back. Rashudo again. Chance for the Crows, but Hart had to wait for it. Back to Robrin. 60 metres out from goal. Long kick. Modra up early and high. Might have given away the free. There is no score on that. A Hawthorn free kick. Oh, it is a score. Behind. 11 minutes 25 left. 8 points the margin.
Adelaide really just peppering the goals at the moment. They're winning a lot of ball outside 50, but unable to either find a player within the goal-scoring range or to convert from that a long distance out.
Matthew Robrin has 2 goals too. Been quite effective half forward for the Crows. Spent a bit of time in defence as he comes across the front of the pack and punches it clear of Randall Bone and Andrew Jarman for a throw-in. 55 metres around from the Adelaide goal. 11.5 minutes left in the final term. Adelaide by 8 points. Ben Hart over the top, drags it inboard, only for Daniel Harford to offload it to Condon. Sends it up high and long. Crawford, centre wing for Hawthorn. Quiet game for Crawford. Crawford, his 8th kick. Hudson, good body work, spins back into trouble. Close to the boundary line now, it's Kapler. Gets a quick kick to Dunstall.
Well, isn't that the value of just keeping the ball alive on the boundary line? Neither Hudson or Kapler were prepared to concede the ball to the line, kept it going all the time. And then Kapler ends up just with that little bit of space and on his preferred left foot. Perfect kick into Dunstall. Effective work by Kapler. 12 kicks, 8 marks, 2 handballs, but that's what he's done with those kicks has been very special. Dunstall lining up for his 8th goal. 35 metres on a tight angle. Kick looks good. Kapler claps it through. Dunstall would be very proud of his contribution today. 5 in the 3rd quarter. 1 in the first, 1 in the second. Now 1 in the last. So 8 goals now equals his best so far for the season. And in actual fact holds the 9-goal record as the best return against Adelaide as Jason Dunstall. So all of them from marks is a very good opponent.
Just under 10 and a half minutes remaining. And 2 points the margin in a tight one at Waverley. Prosciutto underneath the pack. Ball held to him. The umpire will ball it up. Hawthorn players wanting a free kick for Prosciutto, caught in possession. He's had a big day. 26 possessions, Mark Prosciutto. Crows by 2 points. The Hawks have got level, but that's as close as they've been. They've never been in front. McLeod back to Brown. Kick by Brown to Modra. Oh, good mark. Sprinting full tilt at it. And Modra, who started the game in sensational fashion with 3 goals in the first term, has added just 1. This for breathing space. 45 metres out. He's missed to the left. And the Hawks can breathe a little bit easier after that.
This is the test of the full forwards. Dunstall kicking the goals on the angle versus Modra missing those from 40 metres. Jenke. Long ball to Langford. Good body work. Shoving out Jarman. Giving me a taste of his own medicine. Crawford. Great one-hander. Centre wing for Hawthorn. Under pressure from Hart. In the clinches. Crawford off to McCabe. Had a good game since he's come on, replacing Pritchard with a bad groin during the first term. Trelevin dropped the ball. A mark that he should have taken. Would have been very disappointed with himself, and he is. Great start by Crawford. Eyes only for the ball.
He shrugged the tag, then got rid of the trainers.
Robran, good tap. Anderson in the middle of it. Pesh and Robran. Hart stacks on the mill. Another bounce. Umpire Harvey. Centre wing. 8.5 minutes left in the final term. It's Adelaide by 3 points. We'll go down to the wire. Bone and Robran. Robran, the big left hand punch. Anderson on the run. Unable to keep his feet. Hargraves, good body work by the Hawk. And the ball goes out of bounds. Adelaide side of centre wing. Big pack of players. Prosciutto's one of those, off to Jamieson. Open space now. Jamieson drives it in long inside 50. It's Andrew Jarman. Good punch away by Harford. Langford and Modra. Harford and Modra now. Modra on the burst. Kicks around the corner. Punched by Jenke. Pressure relief for the Hawks. 1 point.
Well, Nick Holland's coming back on the ground for Hawthorn. He hasn't played at all in the second half. He's got the cork thigh, and they're going to risk him.
But I think that's a fair move because he is a chance to snare one inside 30 metres and goal for Hawks.
Hawthorn move it forward. Perfect kick by Harford. Crawford marks at centre wing. Concedes some ground. Back to Harford. They're playing between them. To Woods. Left footer. Trelevin crunches the pack. Chick. His East Fremantle teammate from last year. The hand pass wide looking for Kapler. Taken by Ellen. To the boundary line. And out it goes. 60 metres out from goal. 7.5 minutes remaining. And the Crows lead by 4 points in a nail-biter here at Waverley. Not quite the sensational football in the last term that we had in the third, but the result is up for grabs. Kick by Chick. Dunstall!
Well, we have no doubt about who the most valuable player on the ground is, and probably no doubt as to who the best player on the ground is. And the reason is that Jason Dunstall plays this position of full forward so very, very well. On every occasion the ball comes in, he's in front. He's always on the move before the ball actually leaves his teammate's foot, always on the lead at it.
This for number 9, but more importantly, the lead. Dunstall, 9 goals won. The ton is up, and the Hawks lead by 2 points.
And he's kicked 7 of Hawthorn's last 8 goals. It's only Shane Crawford's right foot snap in the third quarter that has broken this run from the man. And really, I mean, just look at the face on Jason. There is never a display of emotion one way. That could have been his first goal, or it could have been his 100th.
It's the Hawks by 2 points. Dunstall's kicked 9. And umpire Gavin Dawes pulled one out of the bag for Hawthorn. A free kick to Randall Bone. We've got 6.5 minutes left in this final term. Matthew Connell, the crumbs for Adelaide. There's pressure on them. Daniel Chick nearly snared the ball. Good tackling on Connell. Desperate stuff from Bickley. Throws it onto his boot. Ben Hart takes his eye off the ball. And Holland's pinned for interference. Close to the boundary line. Pressure's on. Hawks are in front. Hart needs to drive it long. He does up towards centre wing. Rutland takes a great mark. A la Jezelenko. Moves it quickly. Inboard to Allen. He's come down from half back. Offloads it looking for Modra. Great pass by Shane Allen.
That's terrific football by Allen. He ran off Hudson. And you'd reckon Modra would convert, so he set up a goal from half-back.
And it's that kind of aggression that Allen showed there, being prepared to take a go at something that will give Adelaide the chance to take this game.
Adelaide need this desperately. Modra's got 4. Umpire says it all. Back to 1 point. 15-10, 14-15.
He's missed his last 3 shots, Modra. Point the margin here. 5.5 minutes left. Straight up the centre to Bone. A Bone cruncher in the second half. Randall Bone. He goes further up the centre corridor. Connell hit it hard. Oh, well done by Crawford. I don't think he had first touch. Play on rules the umpire. I think he was trying to con umpire John Harvey.
I think a fair call by the umpire there, but you couldn't distinguish between Crawford and Matt Connell on that occasion.
A bounce near the centre circle. The only difference is there's about 20 players around the ball up. Rodman crashes into his opponent. It goes Hawthorn's way. Trelevin. Wide. Dunstall. No mark, but a free kick. Free kick to Dunstall. And the Hawthorn skipper will be kicking for his 10th.
When you're hot, Drew.
And Wheels, he's got them all through marks, so he hasn't had the umpire's help at all.
No, and you know, and the quality part, Drew, is that the marks haven't been the big jump from behind or big skyscrapers. They've been just pure, straight-out, consistent, hard work, leading on every occasion.
Well, what a kick this would be. Near the boundary line, 47 metres out. It's away to the right. And that is 9 goals, 2 to Jason Dunstall. 2 points the margin, 4 minutes 25 left.
The crowd at fever pitch, 16,500. Nigel Smart drives it up into the centre of the ground. Nick Holland not paid the mark. Pesha's turn on his left boot, puts a high ball into the centre of the ground. Graham unable to take the bar. McLeod called for holding the ball. It's play on. Tony Woods gets it away. Ben Hart off to Smarts, up from full-back. Great work by the Crows defender. Goes wide to Brown. He's got a bit of time, bit of space. Offloads it to Liptak. Needs to do a U-turn. Handball back to Brown. Left foot pass to Jarman. Harford paid the mark. Harvey's caught. Play on. To Crawford now. Condon takes his eye off the ball. Has plenty of time to pick it up. Looking for Dunstall. Can't hold it. Dunstall recovers. Gets it away to Tim Hargraves. Platten now, being quiet on his left boot. Has a shoot for the big runs. Holland's in the square. It goes through for a behind for Hawthorn.
Well, Johnny Platten should have just dragged that around a little bit further, perhaps towards the top of the square. Holland was the marking option he had, but didn't give him a sufficient amount of room in which to work, so Holland unable to take that opportunity.
Straight up the centre goes Caven. Marking contest, no mark. Backhander by Kapler is good. McCabe on the turn. Flatton, no hope. Mark O'Connell. The Crows still a chance. At half-back, Rashuto has been good in the last quarter. He's kicked their only goal. The Crows have kicked 1-6 in the last term. Rashuto to centre wing. Good mark, McLeod. Under 3 minutes left in the game. One straight kick can win it for the Crows. McLeod to half-forward. Smart, but out-marked by Crawford. Terrific mark by Shane Crawford. Game's not safe yet. Comes wide to Woods. They can certainly play possession football, but maybe a bit early to start wasting time. 2 minutes 30 left. A quick turnover could kill them yet. Kick by Tony Woods from right half-back. Over the wing to half-forward. Holland pushing from behind, but marks. Magnificent mark by Holland, who caught his thigh, came on about 5 minutes ago. They took a risk with him. It might pay off. Dunstall. Oh, excellent mark by Robin.
Robin across the front of the pack, relieves the pressure for the Crows. Second gamer Collins sprints off through half-back, offloads up the centre wing. He doesn't have many teammates to kick it to, but does the right thing and puts it close to the boundary. Better than conceding it to an opposition player. Randall, Bone and Pittman. McCabe, rush kick, gains about 5 or 6 metres, off to Kepler, gets rid of it quickly. Richard Taylor kicks it high, kicks it long. It's one-on-one with Hargraves. Hargraves! Chest mark in front of Shane Ellen. Ellen's had a good game for the Crows today. This is where it counts. Great body work.
Hargraves has been very good, particularly early in the game, has spent time on the bench and was the player to come off at the start of this quarter to bring Nick Holland on, but quality players are able to come back on and fit straight back into the game, not be distracted by a spell on the bench.
Directly in front, looking for his second, and some breathing space. Picture tells the story. Hawks have got their 16th. 9 points.
Well, the Hawkers, a minute to go and they're just about there. They're home. They've had workers everywhere. Kapler in there on that occasion. Taylor have both been very good. But here, just the body work of Hargraves puts them well in front.
9 points the margin here in the last minute of play. And the Hawks go forward again. Crawford full of zest. The hand pass behind Platten. Good enough to get it back to Crawford. Ellen off the ground. A full-length dive by Crawford. Finishes up with Taylor. 2 against 2. Dunstall a chance. Good punch from behind. Keeps it away from him. Too slow. Good pressure by Taylor. It comes to Platten. Inside 50. In the back. Not against Collins. The ball's out of play and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Well, the last time these two teams met was at Footy Park last year and the Crows won by 2 points. It looks like a close one will go the other way, this time to Hawthorn. Who would have believed that the Crows kicked the first 5 goals and at one stage led by 39 points. 24 seconds remaining. Harford to Crawford. Nice bottle-up contest would do the Hawks at this stage. McCabe, inside 50. Almost Holland. Almost a backhanded mark to Connell. Andrew Jarman marks.
Jarman kicks it off quickly up towards centre wing. But to no avail. That's the end of the show. Celebrations for the Hawthorn side. Remarkable comeback by Hawthorn. Excellent effort led by Jason Dunstall. Kicking 9 goals. Disappointment on the faces of the Crows. A jubilation amongst the Hawthorn camp. Dunstall kicking 5 in the 3rd quarter, set it up for the Hawthorn side. Adelaide Crows must be wondering what went wrong. Luke McCabe replacing Pritchard with a groin. Pittman rucked tirelessly the whole game. And Tim Hargraves, Shane Crawford, Platten, a quiet game for his standards. A sensational effort.
And that is now 3 out of 4 in the last 4 games for the Hawks. And down on ground level, here's Jason Dunstall with girls.
Well, Jason, you have to be pretty proud of your players today.
Yeah, look, I thought it was fantastic. I've got a bit of a chill down the back. I mean, they just never gave in, and it's 2 weeks in a row we played 4 quarters, and that's very encouraging.
5 goals was zipping early in the first quarter. You must have thought, gee whiz, I don't like the look of this.
We expected them to come out hard. I mean, they're an incredibly talented side, but we just had to stick in there, and I think we did that in the first quarter, and again in the second they come out hard again. But all we could do is stick at it all day.
Well, that's what it was. There was no real, apart from yourself, outstanding Hawthorn player, but they just all contributed.
That's what we're trying to do, just make it a good team effort.
Well done, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Gee, Wheels, you're right. You wouldn't know whether he's kicked 1 or 15.
I mean, that was too much modesty, Jason, to say it was a team effort. Mate, he was the man.
The man.
He was the difference between the two sides. You know, all that Adelaide had to do was be able to negate him, but 9 goals, a sensational effort from the captain.
Well, you don't often see emotion like a premiership like this. It's round 11, it's mid-season. Gee, they're 13th on the ladder, but look at them. It's like they've won the flag.
But it's a stepping stone, Drew. I think to win 2 in a row, they've been kicked in the guts. The tradition at Hawthorn is to win, and they don't put up with the failure that, you know, losing 7 or 8 in a row last year. It affected them very poorly.
And the crowd loved it, but the Crows will be shell-shocked. Hawthorn 16-12-108. The Adelaide Crows 14-15-99.